They always say the book is better than the movie, but are they always right? Hi besties, what's up? My name is Meg. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you just heard, we are putting the book to movie test. We are comparing the book adaptation to the movie adaptation of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I was going to do an immersive read, however, I don't have Audible, so we can't listen to the audiobook. So we are just going to be reading the book itself. That being said, once we are done reading the book, then we are going to go straight from the book over and we will be watching the movie. Now, I will be taking my dad with me to watch the movie because one, I'm too scared to go by myself, and then two, the sci-fi movies are exactly the kind of movies my dad would like to do, so I think that that'd be a fun little thing for us to do together. So let's get right on into reading. We are that far into the book. We are officially on page 34, chapter 3. We are just getting started in the book. As of right now, our character, because he has awoken from a coma, he finds that all of his crewmates are dead on the spaceship that he's on. He's remembering his memories, bits and pieces at a time. He's figured out so far that he's a scientist. He likes science, but can't figure out his name. And we keep going through these memories that obviously can't tell if they're in order or if they're not. Something that I'm really liking about this style is that it's definitely unusual. Like, I typically don't read sci-fi books all too often, so Project Hail Mary was definitely a book that is out of my comfort zone. But like I said, that's something that we've been trying to do more often, is putting ourselves into giving us books that don't necessarily make us completely comfortable. And so with this, as of right now, I see that it's a lot of internal thinking and not a lot of external talking, unless it's a memory where he is going through and is talking to the people around him. So I'm not really quite sure how the film adaptation will take that aspect of it and turn it into a movie, because it's hard to portray internal thinking unless there is something almost like a voiceover of some kind. So it's definitely something that we kind of got to keep in mind with everything. So as of right now, I'm not quite sure where I'm at in the book that I like really care or like about it, but as of right now, we're having fun. So we are now that far into the book. It looks like we haven't gotten very much further. However, we just read chapter 3 and he has not only figured out his name, but he has finally figured out what he is dealing with. And the cliffhanger that leaves chapter 3 off going into chapter 4 is diabolical. As of right now, I'm really excited about this book. It's definitely something different that I've read before. I am actually really excited about this book. It's making me super excited. Obviously, I'm learning a lot, but like, do I really understand what I'm learning? Maybe, maybe not. I'm having a lot of fun, so I'm going to keep reading and I will let you know what I think. I actually like this one a lot, and this book has humor. This book has humor, and I am living for it. I also would like to get through at least halfway through the book, so our goal today is to read at least 200 pages. Okay, hey, hello. We are now that far into Project Hail Mary. We are 100 pages in. 1, his name. 2, what his life was like before being involved in Project Hail Mary. And then 2, we have now figured out how he got into being involved in Project Hail Mary. This book is so exciting. I'm having so much fun. And honestly, I wasn't sure how much I would actually find fun, considering that I'm not a big person on science fiction. However, I'm loving this. This is literally everything I think that I've wanted to read in a science fiction book. I liked the aminosity of not knowing who he was when he woke up, how he was confused, everything along those lines. I just loved everything about it. And I love that he's slowly been able to find his way back to his memories. We're going back and forth between the past and the present timelines. And so it's just very fun and very, I don't know how to explain it, but I actually had annotated part of my book with my annotating strips. And then I had my mom come up and then I kind of read her the scene that it was a part of, and I laughed, and I'm just having a grand old time right now. Like, I just want to keep reading. Okay, so we are now that far into Project Hail Mary. We are 154 pages. We're on chapter 9 currently. So far in the book, I genuinely appreciate our male main character for the fact that he is so intelligent, that he is so determined to find things out for science. And just, he has such passion, and it really shows in like the character that he is, for the fact that he's constantly solving these puzzles together, because he wakes up from a coma where he's lost completely. He feels like his mind is mush. He doesn't remember anything. He's struggling to remember, and yet he still trudges forward because he's like, obviously I was sent here. I was sent with the task. Like, let's get this done. As of right now, I'm really enjoying Project Hail Mary. I think that it's so much fun. I am a little bummed that I am unable to listen to the audiobook. I was hoping to do an immersive read. However, my library doesn't offer Project Hail Mary as an audiobook in English. I am glad that they especially included what the configurations would look like, because when I first looked at it, I 100% was so confused. And so now that I kind of have seen the graphs and whatnot of it, I know exactly kind of what our male main character is talking about. Oh, his name is Ryland Grace. I don't know why I thought that it didn't say his name, but his name is Ryland Grace. So Dr. Ryland, he was previously a junior school science teacher who had originally wrote papers for science, and then something happened in the community, everything like that, and then he backed out and decided to go into academics as far as teaching. I love his compassion. I think out of everything that I've been told so far is he, even though he doesn't really remember his crewmates to the best of his ability, he still felt guilt and compassion for his crewmates, that because he woke up naked. He woke up butt naked, and he dressed his deceased crewmates, and then he eventually ejected them and sent them to the stars. I think that's what he had said. He had said something about it like that. So I just got to the part in the book where people say that you should definitely listen to the audiobook, because the audiobook just takes the whole experience to a whole new level. And I completely agree. Now that I see it, however, I'm still not going to listen to the audiobook as much as I would like to. I just don't feel like spending the money on Audible. There is no audiobook for Project Hail Mary that is in English through my library. And we're a little upset by that, not gonna lie, because it would be nice to, hear some of the things that is going on in this book. It's a little frustrating. because it's like I would love to hear the audiobook. I don't think I've ever wished this much to be able to listen to an audiobook. Anyways, so we are currently on chapter 12. I just stopped in the middle of a chapter because I had to tell y'all about how if you do have the opportunity to listen to Project Hail Mary through Audible, just do it. Just do it. I'm missing out greatly right now, and I really would love to be able to experience that. However, I do feel like I am able to read this at a faster level than I would be to listening. Although I would be doing an immersive read, so I guess not. We finally met I believe it's the ally that is talked about, and I'm super excited. From what it sounds like, this ally is super, I guess in a way it could be ugly, but like at the same time it could be like ugly cute, you know? Kind of like those like ugly dolls that were popular back in the 2000s, I want to say it was the 2000s. Anybody who remembers an ugly doll, like, you're a real one. I'm only going to be reading to chapter 15 because I would love to experience this and not rush this experience. So that's why we are taking our time. I'm gonna keep reading. So we are almost halfway. I'm going to read one more chapter for today, and then I'm on chapter 14, and then I will be finishing the rest of this book tomorrow. Okay, bestie, I love our little ally. He is so cute. Anyways, we are that far the way through the book. We are officially halfway. I'm having so much fun with this book. I was not expecting myself to like sci-fi like this. The only sci-fi that I've really read has been dark matter, and that's in like a thriller aspect. So this is fully just a sci-fi book, and I've never really had just a sci-fi book, and I've never really experienced one, but I'm having so much fun. I tabbed a couple quotes that I found to just be funny to me that I was like, oh, I want to remember that moment in this book. I'm having such a blast with this book. I genuinely am curious how they are going to portray this book into a movie, and that's honestly what I can't wait for. We're going to be comparing the movie adaptation to its book. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait. Anyways, that's all for today. I will see you tomorrow for more reading. Good morning and a happy next day. We got halfway through Project Hail Mary yesterday. So that means that today we are going to finish Project Hail Mary today. Let's get to reading. Okay, hi, hello. Last time you saw me, I said that we were gonna finish Project Hail Mary. Yeah, we only read a chapter and then I fell back to sleep. We are still that far of the way through Project Hail Mary. We have 214 pages left for us to go. Plan for today is that we are going to finish Project Hail Mary. So let's get to reading. So where we're at in the book, we are on page 292. We're that far into the book, and as of right now in the book, they think that they have found a solution for the problem that Project Hail Mary had gone into space for. Now I'm getting super excited. There's obviously still a lot of book left, and I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun. And this is so different than what I would typically read. I typically don't gear towards like the sci-fi aspect. I think the most recent like sci-fi book that I have read has been Dune, and even then that was somewhat of like a sci-fi fantasy. This is just completely 100% sci-fi. Now, I am a big Star Wars fan girly, therefore this is, I guess in a way, kind of up my realm. But anyways, we're having so much fun. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for us. So I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you know with anything else. I like this line that I just found in it. It says, "It's a simple idea, but also stupid. Thing is, when stupid ideas work, they become genius ideas. We'll see which way this one falls." I don't know why, but I find that hilarious. I love the amount of humor that is in this book. where it's like, it's so serious. The fate of the world lies on Ryland Grace's shoulders, and yet there is humor. I love it when there is humor. Okay, hi, hello. So we are officially 100 pages left for us to go. As of right now, I'm loving this book. I honestly wasn't expecting myself to be able to understand the science aspect, and I still kind of don't. However, for the most part, it makes it very well known on how things work, meaning that what Andy Weir does is he does explain the science aspect of it. I want to say he kind of dumbs it down so that way you can follow and you can understand, which I really appreciate as someone who science skills were not the best. So I really appreciate that. I'm having so much fun. I can't wait to see what the rest of the book has in store. I think I may check in when there's only about 50 pages left. Other than that, I'm going to be finishing this book today, and we will be definitely excited once we finish. Okay, so we only have 94 pages left of our book to go. As of right now, it's like really cutting down to the wire, like things are really happening. I'm not quite too sure of some of the things that are going on because it's a lot of scientific talk. However, for the most part, it is pretty easy to understand as someone who isn't really into STEM. I have to admit, it is nice that they do kind of dumb it down in a way, because Ryland Grace essentially explains it to his ally that he has, and like they coincide and they propose theories between the two of them, and it's honestly really cool to see like two different minds who think totally different but yet have the same amount of knowledge and information on one specific task, that it's just great to see how they collaborate. Anyways, I'm going to get back to reading and I will update you in a bit. Okay, so we are officially 20 pages away from finishing Project Hail Mary, and bro, they are getting down to the absolute wire when I am reading this book. Like the last 20 pages, we still have yet to have solved the issue at hand. And like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but like, I'm really enjoying this book. I definitely think that this is going to be a high-rated book, especially for it being sci-fi for me. I mean, like, that's kind of crazy that like I actually really enjoyed sci-fi when I never thought that I would before. So now this has kind of opened up the thought of like, okay, what if we tried other sci-fi books this year? So if you have any sci-fi book recommendations, I would love to hear them down in the comments below. So let me know. I would love to just kind of get more into the sci-fi genre. I'm gonna finish Project Hail Mary and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so it's been some time later, but we finished Project Hail Mary. Now, I'm not sure what I want to give this book. I was very surprised by the ending. It wasn't exactly the way that I thought that the book would go. I genuinely was holding on to the edge of my seat the whole last like 40 pages or so of this book. I enjoyed the relationship between our main character, Ryland Grace, and his ally that he comes to find. I loved the humor about this book. I loved that there were constantly these funny moments, but I loved the fact that when they would talk about science, they would somehow break it down so if you weren't really involved in STEM or really understood it, that you could have a way to understand what they were talking about. Granted, there were a few things that I didn't look up. I didn't care to look up. I just was like, yep, I'll take your word for granted. But I had so much fun with this book. I think I'm going to give this book a 4-star for the fact that it was lacking in some aspects. Like, I never really felt a connection towards our male main character, and I never had a physical reaction other than just kind of like laughing out loud. For this being my first sci-fi book, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot, and honestly, I can't wait to see it in theaters. That's our next stop. So I'll see you at the theater. So we just got home from watching Project Hail Mary, and oh my gosh, I loved the movie. I think that that is probably one of the closest book to film adaptations. Granted, they did leave small things out, but for the most part, they kept it completely to the book. I was very happy with how they had ended it and how close they stuck to the book. I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to see what the book was describing brought to life. So I had a little bit of a hard time, I'll be honest, when it was talking a lot about the metals of a ship and everything like that. The movie, I don't rate movies, I don't, but I give Project Hail Mary 5 stars on that front. I was very happy. I was very content with that. I was very happy that they stuck to the past, present timelines and that it was easily distinguishable between the two, or like when he was thinking. I really wasn't sure how they were going to do this movie, and I'm genuinely so happy with how they did it. Another thing is that they were able to still bring across the humor that they had in the actual book. Granted, they didn't use the same lines or anything, but they still brought that humor that was in the book into the movie, and I was really happy with that. I went with my dad and we had such a great time. Dad liked it a lot. My dad's a softie, so there were parts where he was really liking the movie, and I was so happy that my dad would go with me because I wasn't about to go to the movies by myself. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Do all of the YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you in a bit. Bye!